Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Agrodude Golden Jubilee celebrations. NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu arrives in Northeast as part of her election campaign. Chief Minister Arogya Arunachal Yojana empanels Tata Memorial Centre, Mumbai. In Meghalaya, people with annual income less than 1.8 lakh rupees not required to pay professional tax. And Guwahati High Court Kohima bench inaugurates Seva Kendra. Very good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin. This is Jolly Hoikia Gogoi bringing to you the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Golden Jubilee celebrations of the Agrodude group of newspaper today via video conference. On the occasion, Modi said that Agrodude newspapers have always contributed in keeping the spirit of Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat alive. He further asserted that intellectual space should not be restricted to any particular region or language. It is important that knowledge is shared across the country. Assam Chief Minister Dr Himanta Biswa Sarma, Chief Patron of Agrodude's Golden Jubilee Celebration Committee, was also present at the occasion. It may be mentioned that initially Agrodude started as an Assamese bi-weekly. Thereafter, established in 1995, Doinik Agrodude, a daily newspaper, was started and developed itself as a trusted and influential voice of Assam over the years.
देवी और सज्जनों, असमिया भाषा में नॉर्थ ईस्ट की सशक्त आवाज दैनिक अग्रदूत से जुड़े सभी साथियों, पत्रकारों, कर्मचारियों और पाठकों को 50 वर्ष 5 दशक की इस स्वर्णिम यात्रा के लिए मैं बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla paid floral tributes at the portrait of Dr Shyamaprasad Mukherjee in the Central Hall of Parliament House on his birth anniversary today. Union Ministers Piyush Goyal, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, Dr Jitendra Singh, Arjun Ram Meghwal, along with several members of Parliament and other dignitaries also paid their tributes. Meanwhile, a booklet containing the profile of Dr Shyamaprasad Mukherjee, brought out by the Lok Sabha Secretariat in both Hindi and English, was presented to the dignitaries who attended the function. On the occasion of the 87th birthday of the religious leader Dalai Lama, Prime Minister Narendra Modi conveyed his greetings over the phone today. Modi wished the Dalai Lama a long and healthy life. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur also extended his greetings. Thakur further said that by making Dharamshala in Himachal Pradesh his home, the Dalai Lama has spread the message of peace and spirituality to the world in a tweet. Meanwhile, Union Law Minister Kiren Rijiju too extended his deepest reverence and best wishes for a long and healthy life to the 14th Dalai Lama. Meanwhile, Sikkim Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang participated in an event along with a large number of devotees to commemorate the 87th birthday of the 14th Dalai Lama at Sera Jhe Drofenglang Monastery and prayed for his good health and long life. Tamang also took to his Twitter handle and expressed that the Dalai Lama is an embodiment of love, peace and compassion. He further wished for his valuable presence for many more years to come. NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu arrived in Meghalaya today as a part of her election campaign. She was extended a warm welcome on her maiden visit to the state. Meanwhile, Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma took to his Twitter handle and said that as tribals, it was an honor to have the presidential candidate in the state. Later in the day, Draupadi Murmu arrived in Dimapur, Nagaland. She was accompanied by Union Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. Murmu further met Nagaland Chief Minister Neyfurio along with other state ministers and MLAs to seek their support for her upcoming election. Meanwhile, earlier in the day, NDA presidential nominee Draupadi Murmu was in Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh today to seek support for the July 18th poll. She met members of parliament and legislators of the ruling BJP and its allies. Accompanied by Union Shipping Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, Murmu was received at the Raj Bhavan helipad by Chief Minister Pema Khandu and Deputy CM Chona Mein. The state BJP has 2 Lok Sabha MPs and 1 Rajya Sabha MP.
अरुणाचल प्रदेश भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश के लिए बहुत ही बड़ा और बहुत ही खुशी दिन है कि अरुणाचल प्रदेश 100% यानी कि 100% एसटी यानी जनजाति यानी आदिवासी स्टेट होने के नाते बहुत खुशी है और बहुत तहे दिल और खुशियों के साथ मैडम को हम लोग स्वागत करते हैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश ईटानगर में.
In a positive development for Arunachal, the Tata Memorial Centre, Mumbai, is now an empanelled hospital under the Chief Minister Arogya Arunachal Yojana. Meanwhile, Arunachal Chief Minister Pema Khandu took to his Twitter handle and informed that from now on, cancer patients from the state can avail cashless hospitalisation of up to 5 lakh rupees per annum per family under the scheme. In Meghalaya, continuing its fight against the drug menace, an operation in Joai was conducted by the Anti-Narcotics Task Force. The force waylaid the suspected persons and vehicles while tracing to a year-long park who had come for peddling. Meanwhile, 1 pistol, 4 live ammo, 4 lakh rupees, 9 boxes of soap containing suspected heroin and 1 small bottle stuffed with suspected heroin was seized. Further, 3 mobile phones, a long dagger, 1 gypsy vehicle and 1 local taxi were also seized from their possession, and 3 persons were arrested in this regard. Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma has announced that people in the state with annual income of less than 1.8 lakh rupees will not be required to pay professional tax. Chief Minister Conrad Sangma informed the media that as per the cabinet decision, the government has decided that anyone who has an annual income of less than 1.8 lakh rupees will not have to pay anything. Earlier, only those with an annual income of 50,000 rupees or less were exempt from the professional tax bracket. Sangma further informed that the government has brought down the number of professional tax slabs from 12 to 4. In Meghalaya, recruitment to the Indian Army through the Agnipat scheme will be conducted from 27 September to 10 October 2022 at Manekshaw Stadium at Happy Valley. Online registration to the same will be open from 5th July to August 4, 2022. Candidates are to register in the online recruitment portal prior to appearing for the recruitment process. Agniveers will be recruited for 4 years as Agniveer General Duty, Agniveer Technical, Agniveer Clerks, Storekeeper, Technical, Agniveer Tradesman 10th Pass and Agniveer Tradesman 8th Pass. It may be mentioned that the recent Agnipat scheme is a major defense policy reform in the human resource policy of the Army, Navy and Air Force. In a good news from Nagaland, the Seva Kendra was inaugurated today at Guwahati High Court, Kohima Bench by Radmin Manmarbhai Chaya, Chief Justice of Guwahati High Court, Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Meanwhile, Guwahati High Court programmer Amento Asumi said that the Seva Kendras have been created in the High Courts and in one district court in each state on a pilot basis. Asumi further informed that the Seva Kendras shall initially roll out following services for litigants and lawyers, including handling inquiries about case status, facilitate online applications for certified copies, facilitate e-filing of petitions, appending e-signatures, uploading them on to CIS and generation of filing number amongst multiple other services.
Inquiries about case status, next date of hearing and other details regarding the case, and including the daily cost list, what are the case listed and all you can get through this facility. Apart from that, we have
Mizoram Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities along with National Institute for Empowerment of Persons with Multiple Disabilities, Chennai, organized an identification and assessment camp. The camp was held at the Diet Practicing School, Chaltang, Mizoram, where experts assessed the conditions and challenges faced by people with various physical disabilities. Meanwhile, the Mizoram Commissioner said that under this initiative, persons with disabilities will be given various kits such as hearing aid, smartphones and tablets. In Manipur, a 120 feet Polo statue will be built identifying the birthplace of the sport. This initiative is to highlight how the Northeast state is the founder of the game. Meanwhile, taking to his Twitter handle, Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh said that it was the forefathers of the state who introduced the game of Sagol Kangje, better known as Polo. For more updates, viewers can also watch our bulletins and other programs on our YouTube channel DD News Guwahati. Before we end the news, the headlines once again. Before we end the news, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates Agrodude Golden Jubilee celebrations. NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu arrives in Northeast as part of her election campaign. Chief Minister Arogya Arunachal Yojana empanels Tata Memorial Centre, Mumbai. In Meghalaya, people with annual income less than 1.8 lakh rupees not required to pay professional tax. And Guwahati High Court, Kohima Bench inaugurates Seva Kendra. That brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.